Thank you. Thank you very much, Leah.
Sweet. Thanks, Leah.
Hey, there's nothing quite like the love of a dog. Especially with that music and when he runs in slow motion. But now, if it turns out they're not just loyal companions, but also good for kids' mental and emotional health.
That's right. New research finds kids age 6 or 7 are less likely to have anxiety if there's a dog in the home. Just 12% of kids with dogs have anxiety compared to 21% of kids without the dogs. How about that?
So what makes dogs so great for kids and their mental health? Veterinarian Dr. Heather Loenser joins us now along with 10-year-old Luke and 8-year-old Oliver and 11-year-old Elliot and the dogs Calvin, Lexi, and Zipper as well. Good morning.
Crowded house.
It is.
So what is the deal with dogs and calm kids?
Well, as a parent, I think it's, magic, right? Because I have young kids and I just love watching them interact like this. But it turns out that science is backing up the theories that parents and pet owners have always had.
How does it work?
Well, there's an increase in oxytocin when we hang out with dogs. And oxytocin is a bonding hormone that shows up in birth, but also when we get to know people, we get to release more of this love hormone. So hanging out positively with the dogs, more oxytocin. You also have less cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that's really responsible for a lot of the deleterious effects of stress. So we have high oxytocin, low cortisol.
Hey, this is a good angle to work for Christmas.
It totally is. It absolutely is. And then also, you just have for kids that are shy, they get to meet new people, but they have a dog as a buffer. So they can introduce themselves to a new person, but everyone gravitates towards the dog. What's your dog's name? Of course. Right. So and you see tons of pictures on social media of kids with their pets. The American Animal Hospital Association has a great list of wonderful pictures on their Facebook page right now. Right. And a copy of that study, too.
And I think it's important, too. Dogs like you. They don't care. They're going to accept you. They're non-judgmental. If you're that kid who's have trouble making friends, this is a huge icebreaker for you. And that's why those movies are so successful, like My Dog Skip and others.
That's right.
Now,
Absolutely.
listen, but you also got to make sure the family is bought into the puppy. It can't just be the child.
Right, because as much as the kids say, no, I promise I'll walk him, and sometimes they don't. So it's great to talk to
Sometimes,
I know.
Come on,
I was a very responsible child. And so it may turn out that a dog might be a little bit too much work for a family. So things like ferrets, rabbits, rodents. I have chickens, believe it or not, and my kids really enjoy taking care of them, the chickens, and hanging out with them.
What we did at our house probably about 15 years ago was when Santa left a note about how the kids were going to be able to have a dog at the house, and they had to figure out what dog was appropriate for us. So they actually did the research, and they also had to do the promising that they were going to do the things you were talking about.
Absolutely.
And you have some important tips. Consider adopting a dog rather than going to a breeder. Go on supervised walks to get an idea.
Because a lot, just to interact with a dog in a very supervised way. If you have a neighbor that you might be able to kind of rent the dog.
Practice.
And then also animal shelters have programs where kids can come and walk dogs to get them socialized to kids, to get ready for their adoptable home.
And volunteer shelters.
Absolutely, yeah.
Dr. Loenser, thank you so much. Great tips and great angle for the kids who've been trying to get a dog for Christmas.
Those dogs aren't going to want to leave the studio.
I know.
They're all petted out.
No one's anxious around here.